Today's video, I will be discussing my comprehensive user experience and offering a detailed game demonstration of the AYANEO Pocket S Mini. Alright, so first off, let's just briefly discuss the hardware components. Well, on the front of this particular machine, there's a 4.2-inch LCD screen. It's important to note that it doesn't support a high refresh rate. In fact, it's the exact same screen panel found on the Air Mini. Now, some of you might be rather concerned about the potential for ghosting with this particular screen. Overall, because this machine utilizes a more powerful chip, you'll definitely notice a significant improvement in the fluidity of your everyday interactions, as well as the responsiveness when swiping across the screen. But it's quite evident actually. When you're actively swiping through icons on the main interface, you can still unmistakably observe a subtle, yet present ghosting phenomenon that's quite noticeable. However, regarding this particular issue, you truly don't need to worry too much about it, because when you're simply immersed in regular gameplay, this ghosting effect is practically imperceptible, meaning it won't affect your experience in any significant way. Alright, next up, I'll go over the buttons on this machine for everyone. The D-pad and ABXY buttons on this device are all crystal buttons, and they all utilize conductive rubber, including both shoulder buttons. The overall tactile feedback when pressing them is on the softer side, yet still very light and quite responsive. Personally, I truly favor the tactile sensation of these buttons, because even after prolonged gaming sessions continuously engaging these buttons, my hands never experience any significant fatigue or discomfort. And lastly, this device boasts a single seamless glass panel on its front, complemented by a meticulously crafted CNC alloy frame. The overall aesthetic and construction are truly exquisite, making it exceptionally beautiful to behold. The only minor drawback is that this particular device doesn't have a 3.5mm headphone jack. Regarding this point, I definitely still need to clarify it for everyone. And with that, I've covered quite a bit about the hardware aspects. Next up is the actual game demonstration, but before we dive into the game demo, I still need to tell you that this machine's processor is the Snapdragon G3x Gen 2. You can basically consider it a performance-enhanced version of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, offering approximately 15% better overall performance compared to the 8 Gen 2. That really does sound quite impressive, doesn't it? So, without further ado, let's just jump right in and truly discover the real power of this little pocket rocket. First off, let's take a closer look at Tianma, and by that I mean all it has to offer. Regarding Tianma, for all retro platforms from the PS2 era and prior, this machine's performance definitely won't encounter any problems or challenges whatsoever. Here I'll just be showing you one PS2 game, Rogue Galaxy, to demonstrate. This game is actually considered one of the more performance-demanding titles on the PS2, requiring quite a bit from the console, pushing its capabilities to the limit. Now let's go ahead and turn on the performance monitoring feature so we can see how well it's doing. This was also a truly enjoyable game on the PS2, offering immense fun. And now with this particular machine, you can truly enjoy playing the game with exceptional smoothness. Generally speaking, the more powerful your machine, the less you'll have to tinker with the emulator settings, which is a great thing. For this particular game, I essentially didn't have to tinker with many settings at all. I merely boosted the resolution, set up some button mapping, and made a few minor adjustments to the graphics quality, and it played perfectly smoothly. I suppose that's just one of the undeniable advantages that comes with owning a really high-performance machine. And with that, this game will no longer be demonstrated or shown. We are now officially moving on. Next, we'll delve into the 3DS platform. I've specifically selected a newly localized Chinese version of Ultimate Legion for this system. This particular game demands a considerable amount from the console's processing capabilities. In fact, it's widely regarded as one of the most performance-intensive titles available on the 3DS platform. And here I am running this game at a significantly enhanced 3 times the native resolution. Given the small display of this particular device, a 3 times resolution enhancement already delivers an exceptionally clear and visually stunning experience, making everything appear incredibly sharp and detailed. This level of clarity is quite remarkable for such a compact screen, significantly improving the overall visual quality and making the visuals truly pop with vibrant fidelity and precision. For this particular game, it's absolutely crucial to go into the shader settings and make sure to switch it to normal shader plus cache. If you neglect to do that, you'll definitely encounter some noticeable texture problems and graphical glitches appearing on the screen, which can really detract from the experience. We'll be entering effective range momentarily. Targeting lock-on has been initiated. Breaking through. Initiating missile interception sequence now. Target confirmed. Lock-on sequence initiated. Target lock-on, target lock-on, target lock-on. Janira, I need you to follow my lead immediately. Just drop it exactly as it is. Got him, Bren. I've successfully locked onto the target and confirmed the hit.
Go.
What was that noise? This area is dangerous. We need to retreat immediately. The game, it's consistently running at a rock-solid 60 frames per second, with absolutely no drops at all, ensuring a super smooth and immersive experience throughout, even during intense action. And this is a shooting game, so actually. It's a lot of fun. Okay, I'll stop playing this game now. That's all for the 3DS demo. Alright, for the next few platforms, I'll definitely need to crank up the full power mode. That's because we're going to be running the NS emulator, the PC emulator, and the PS3 emulator, all of which are high-performance emulators. So we're definitely going to activate that full power setting. Okay, so let's start with this NS emulator and show you how it performs, demonstrating its full capabilities right from the get-go. For the NS emulator, I'm going to demonstrate two games for you. One of them is the high-definition remake of the first-generation Dragon Quest, a game I've recently been quite engrossed in and have been enjoying playing a lot. So, I also transferred my save file from the Odin 3. This means we can jump straight into one of the towns on the map that appears later in the game to check it out. This is actually one of the towns you encounter later in the game. And generally speaking, the frame rate in this game experiences some drops specifically when you enter the towns. However, because I've already preloaded these shaders, the game's overall performance is quite fluid and smooth, running without any noticeable hitches or slowdowns, which makes for a much better experience. Okay, let's step outside now and find some small monsters to engage in battle with. I should also try to escape and see what happens. I specifically recall there being a metal slime around here. My whole intention was to hunt those slimes, not to be bothered with these common weak monsters, you know. I want to try and find some metal slimes around here, so let's see if we can encounter any. Still, it seems I haven't found one yet. I really want to find a metal slime. But there isn't one there. Alright, then I won't be demonstrating this particular game to you anymore. Alright, let's take a look at the next game, which is The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. I've also already gone ahead and applied a patch to it. Let's take a look at its overall performance and witness the sheer power of this little beast, the G3x. It's truly impressive to see what this compact powerhouse can achieve, delivering an experience that really showcases its capabilities. This device, known as the G3x, certainly packs a punch. It's built for serious action, offering a dynamic and responsive performance that will surely blow your mind. The Gen 2 is essentially the performance-enhanced version of the 8 Gen 2. Therefore, its drivers and overall operation are quite similar to those used by the 8 Gen 2. Its drivers are quite mature and well developed, and playing the Nintendo Switch emulator on this device works exceptionally well, offering a really excellent experience. Let's take a moment and gaze upon this beautiful sunrise over the vast ocean, shall we? And as you can clearly see right here, the NS emulator's gyroscope is functioning perfectly and is completely usable. So, let's go ahead and try out this Ultra Hand ability to see if it's working as it should be, without any glitches or issues at all. You know, just to make sure everything's perfectly functional. Everything seems to be perfectly fine, and I won't be demonstrating this particular game any further than this. Nothing wrong with it. This Pocket Rocket handles the NS emulator quite effectively. The performance is actually rather impressive. It's quite good. Next up, we'll be moving on to another platform here, which is the PC emulator. And for the PC emulator, I will also demonstrate a game that I frequently played on my Odin 3. It's Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. This is a classic that many of you might remember, and it runs quite well on this setup. One thing to pay attention to is that the resolution here needs to be set to this particular resolution. Essentially, we're slightly decreasing the resolution. And this is also to ensure that the image stays centered on the screen when displayed. If you don't change any settings, the screen will occupy the upper half of the screen. If you don't adjust it, the image will unfortunately end up occupying about half of the upper screen, which isn't ideal for gameplay or visual clarity. So, it's really important to get those settings right to ensure the best possible experience when you're playing. Otherwise, you'll find a significant portion of your view blocked by an off-center display, making it difficult to fully immerse yourself in the game. For performance monitoring, let's just focus on the monitoring provided by this generation's app, and we'll simply disable the system's own monitoring feature for now. The menu interface is a little laggy, but we'll still select the same battle scene. This machine's maximum performance release can reach about 15 watts, which is quite impressive for a device of this size. It means you can expect decent gaming performance, especially for less demanding titles or when optimizing the settings. The device manages to keep things running smoothly despite some minor UI stutters. We've seen how well it handles other emulators, so I'm confident it will perform well here too. It's great to have a portable device that can tackle such a variety of games and platforms, making it a versatile option for gamers on the go. The aim here is to ensure a consistent experience across all emulated systems, even if there are occasional hiccups in the menu navigation. It's all about balancing power and portability, and so far this device seems to strike a good balance. This machine's absolute maximum performance output can achieve around 15 watts, approximately. We can clearly observe that this game is in fact already drawing close to 15 watts of power, which indicates a noteworthy level of energy consumption during its operation, pushing the device's capabilities quite significantly. Let's take a look at the frame rate. Overall, it has consistently stayed above 40 frames per second. And because I slightly lowered the resolution, the overall performance and smooth operation are actually quite decent.
对于这台机而言, however, the power consumption is indeed a bit high for this machine. Because its battery only has a capacity of 4,700 mAh. If you keep playing at such a high load, the overall battery life is only a little over an hour. Okay, that's all for now. Since it's a large game, Then I'd like to briefly mention the machine's heat dissipation. That's actually quite good. And this EG here now feels warm, but it feel hot. But it doesn't feel hot or feel hot S2. So overall, this is similar to S2. Their performance is similar. Next, I'll show you the last emulator platform.游戏正常进来了。